So the battle between Hajin versus Buddha has finally concluded, and Buddha is the actual winner. So you know what that means? We are off to the next round.
It's about damn time. It's about damn time.
And it feels like we've been in this round for forever because we started this fight between Buddha and Hajin, or Buddha and Bishimon, or Buddha versus Zero, since the start of March. And then now we finally get the conclusion, the climax, the ending in September. And it's just funny just to see how this is round 6 and it took 6 months to actually get to this point. And it's very, very entertaining to see how everything had played out. But with this chapter was very, very fun, and this chapter was very good because we actually was able to see Buddha in his full strength. He was able to take down Hajin, and I feel like everyone suspected that Hajin was going to lose and Buddha was going to survive. Since Buddha betrayed the gods and start teaming up for humanity, it just seems like a perfect reason for Buddha to actually win. And it doesn't give any reasons why Hajin should win this fight, because it pretty much looks bad on Buddha for him to go heel turn and actually lose. But throughout this chapter was very entertaining. We start from the beginning of the chapter after last chapter 52, where we see that Buddha is freshly equipped with his new divine weapon, and he's continuously clashing with Hajin. And we see everyone from the side of humanities and the other gods like Jesus is cheering on for Buddha, because Buddha is getting the upper hand. Buddha has his new power up. Buddha is refreshed and reborn to take down Hajin. And while everyone is cheering for him, you actually see Buddha's friend that actually had died. In his backstory, he actually is there witnessing Buddha in his strength. And we see every time Buddha became more powerful, because people are cheering, people are in their happiest moment, and we see Buddha being enlightened with the power of the positivity. And so while Buddha is gaining strength, Hajin is being frustrated just due to the fact that it's just like, okay, damn it, how is this man is not being taken down? How can he keeps getting stronger? And you see the frustrations during Hajin's, face and his whole attitude, because remember, the whole beginning of this fight, Hajin had the upper hand. Hajin was whooping that ass until all of a sudden the tides have turned to where Buddha, with one eye, he's having the upper hand. He is not letting Hajin win this fight. And so throughout this whole time and this whole frustration, Buddha is just taunting Hajin, and he's just adding insults. And you know how Buddha could be with his slick mouth, it's kind of really just digging in deep into the pride of Hajin, because Hajin now he feels insulted, he's doubting himself, and he's being frustrated because it cannot actually go ahead and take down Buddha. And what makes the matters worse was that Buddha just continuously on smiling, and that frustrated Hajin to the point where Hajin, he just continuously going on the attack mode. And we see some of his offense attacks was able to go ahead and hit Buddha, but Buddha is not even feeling the effects of the attacks. He's just continuously smiling and focusing on the battle. And then we see commentary from the side of humanities that's fighting for humanity. And some of them are saying that Buddha might be done, because just due to the amount of injuries, fatigue, and everything. So we see people are just looking at the situation. They will start to believe that even though Buddha has this power up, things are not really looking good. They have doubts that Buddha is going to lose this fight. And so while that continues, we also see Buddha continuously finding strategies and new ways to dodge and actually throw in some more offense. And then we see Hajin's able to use his Blaze of Glory attack to try to finish off Buddha, but Buddha was able enough to block the attack. But some of the effects of the shock wave, when Buddha actually blocked it, will actually damage some of his hip. And we see that Hajin was able to continue putting pressure while he is just putting down his blade against Buddha's blade, but Buddha was able to hold his ground and reflect back, and was able enough to strike Hajin while reflecting his own attack. And then so we see Hajin's in disbelief because Buddha was able enough to put a deep wound across his chest, and he's in just disbelief. But not only him in just disbelief, but the other gods as well, like Ares was in disbelief because Buddha, they feel like Buddha does not have enough stamina thanks to the amount of damage that he has already received. And so everyone's just having huge doubts against Buddha. But Hades, big pimp Hades, he's just like, you guys are fool. He was just like, look at Buddha. The only attack that he's able enough to do is to dodge, and he's going to be able enough to dodge all of Hajin's attack, and once he does that, he's going to finish him off. And everyone's just looking at Hades like, bro, you are out of control. So what happened was that we see Hajin's just continuously just throwing multiple attacks against Buddha, but Buddha, he's able enough to go ahead and dodge all of his attacks. And everyone is wondering like, how's he's able enough to dodge Hajin's attacks. So what happened was in the beginning of the fight, when Buddha was facing against Hajin, Hajin's soul was complete full of darkness. But throughout the whole entire battle, and the whole fact that Hajin's having doubts for himself and the insults and Buddha's keep getting into his head, there's like a small crack of a piece of Hajin's soul where Buddha's able enough to see through his future and able to predict what Hajin's going to do by the next attack. So while that's continuously going, we're able to see that Hajin continuously just throwing a lot of offense against Buddha, and Buddha's just smiling because he's just continuously dodging. And we see that Ares, he is just surprised that Hades was actually right. And we just see countless times of Hajin just being frustrated, saying that I am the demon lord of the sixth heaven. Why I cannot hit Buddha? Why is this? Why is that? And the whole entire time, Buddha's just continuously just dodging every single attack, swings that Hajin could keep throwing at him. And you just continuously seeing the frustration. And while we see Buddha, he's just continuously dodging. He's dodging so fast to the point where he actually makes a double of himself. And we actually saw people was kind of confused and shocked that for a second that Hajin was able enough to go ahead and cut Buddha in half with his blaze of glory. But it was actually all an illusion just due to the amount of speed that Buddha is actually producing. So when Hajin realized that he hit an illusion, Buddha was just standing still, and he's summoning all of the power that he can have into one final attack, so that way he can finish off Buddha. And while he's charging and everything, he's just thanking Zero, and he's just like, all right, Zero, let's work together to finish off this dude. And with one final attack, he was able enough to finish off Hajin, and everyone of all the gods are just in disbelief. Just seeing their face reaction is just very priceless. Even Loki is just being like, this mother effer just decide to win this fight. So as all of this is going on, we see Hajin's was being split into half, and we see blood all over on the floor, and everyone's just cheering, saying Buddha has won, Buddha has won, and everyone is just cheering. But then Hajin's just like, nah, bro. He was just like, before I disappear and turn into dust, I need to hit one last hit. And he's trying to hit to Buddha, but Buddha, he ain't flinching at all. Buddha just standing still and just watching while Hajin is trying to do his last final attack, but it didn't go through because by that time, Hajin was already in dust, Thanos style. And then while that's going on, Hajin is all disappeared, turning to dust. And then Buddha is just staring at the sky, and he sees Zero running up to the heavens, and Buddha's just calling to Zero, and Zero is just putting his two thumbs up with the other 7 gods of fortune all up in the air. And Buddha's just crying, and he's just like, damn, that is cool. See you guys later, Zero. And that's just how the chapter ends. We see Buddha just putting his hand up, his finger up in the side of victory, all bloody, bruised, and one eye. And it says that Buddha has won. and finish this match underneath 21 minutes. And that's just the end of this chapter. This was an amazing chapter. I really did like how the fact that Buddha, he was able to hold on his own and he was able to finish off Hajin. And the fact that now we're ready for round 7 and who's going to be the next coming fight. I do believe that the next chapter, they're going to try to figure out like, okay, so what's going on? Because remember, Buddha was on the side of the gods and now he's joining the side of humanities. So I do feel like the next chapter is going to be morally focusing on the fact of how the whole structure of the Record of Ragnarok tournament is going to be, but also too, we're most likely going to see who's going to be in the next round fighting against humanity and who's going to be on the god side towards the end of the next chapter. But other than that, like I said, this chapter was very, very good. It was very insane. And just to see how powerful Buddha was and actually see him like just saying something nice to Zero, because throughout this whole entire fight, when he saw Zero, he just kept calling him a brat and immature. You need to have some puberty in you, to the point where he sees Zero and he says, man, that is cool. That was very touching. But other than that, that's all I can say about this chapter. What you guys thoughts about this chapter, let me know down in the comment section how you guys feel. And if you guys do like the video, please give it a like, subscribe, and always remember, this is Monotone Man. Just always be decent and have a wonderful day. Peace.